Go ahead. Good afternoon again, guys. We are excited about this week of Realty Talks. We're excited to have you with us, Clement and Angela and Dee and Aurelia, Mr. Porter. We see Kermond, Darlene. We have other people that are joining us as well. Just wanted to give you guys a shout out. We absolutely value each and every last one of you as Realty pros. And I just want to give you honor first before we begin for carving out the time to make your training a priority. And that's a part of the conversation that we're going to have today, guys. Okay. So just go ahead and, get comfortable, get settled in, join the discussion today. Of course, as always, we're recording for those who are not able to join us just now, and for you guys to be able to go back and listen to it so that you can, get those pearls of wisdom, take notes, and, just meditate on it to help you to grow in this area. So we are very much excited. We're going to dive right in. So our topic for today, we were supposed to have been talking about prospecting, if you will, for, from the perspective of our mailers, but I've been led in a different direction for our conversation today. So I really want for you guys to just kind of go with me in this conversation, because this is for us, and this is for the season that we are in. Okay. From this perspective, I want to start with just sharing a brief testimony, if you will, a testimony of, that I was sharing with Shay of just where we are, like in our lives and as a brokerage and as a company and all these things. I was looking back, just over the last 10 years or so, and just really thinking about all of the blessings, all of the benefits, all of the things that we've been able to accomplish, all of the successes, all of the challenges that we've been able to overcome, through every type of obstacle that could have possibly come, has come, yet and still here we are. And we are thriving, we are, prospering, we are growing, bigger, better, and more than ever before. And we are just extremely thankful, and we are extremely blessed. And it is in a large part because of you guys, because of you enduring all of the, the tests and things that come in your personal lives and your business life and with your clients. So I just wanted to encourage you guys for a moment. Mr. Porter and myself, you guys, you see us and you say, okay, well, it might be easy for them because of where we are, but I just wanted to kind of take you back to the beginning for a moment and just help to kind of bring you back to where we are now. You hear Mr. Porter talk about, our days when we were realtors before we established Porterhouse International Realty Group, and so forth and so on. And I want to encourage you guys in this same regard. When I was a brand new agent, my nickname was Training, because one thing I knew then, and it holds very true now, is I can't go beyond the knowledge that I have. So in order for me to do better, I need to learn more. I need to be able to grow. And that stands true in every area of your life. Anything that it is that you aspire to do, it's a matter of learning what to do and how to do, and able to be able to, in order to be able to walk into that area of your life. So at that time, Mr. Porter was a school principal, and he was, wondering what I'm doing. I'm in real estate now. And my endeavor was from 9 a.m. Actually, earlier than that, was from 7, because I was up with Mr. Porter until he got home at about 7 p.m. I was engrossed in real estate. And that was before I had a single client. So training, practice, scripts, doing what it is that I was being taught to do. So I want to challenge each and every last one of us with that same type of just perseverance. Okay. Because when we talk about the road that we've been on over this last decade, this journey, we've gone through, quite a number of things. We've had loved ones to go home to be with the Lord. There have been over, more than 24 of our close family members, loved ones that have gone home to be with the Lord, yet and still here we are. I'm talking about from my mom to Shay's, stepmom for 40 years. We're talking about, siblings and, nieces and nephews and kids and friends and all of those things. yet and still here we are. I'm talking about market transitions. I'm talking about, the recession that we were in, coming out of the recession, and, the real estate market growing again, and, a buyer's market and a seller's market, and a place in the market where buyers were asking for, everything under the kitchen sink. And yet still here we are. We went through this crazy seller's market where sellers were able to command, 40, 50, $100,000 over list price. And yet still here we are. A pandemic, to where all of us were impacted by the pandemic, whether it's loved ones going home to be with the Lord, ourselves taking that on and overcoming that, that illness, no matter what it was. And yet still here we are. We're talking about an industry that is probably one of the least expensive businesses to start. And that's from the perspective of, in real estate, there is no glass ceiling. You can literally make as much as you are willing to hold yourself accountable to doing, right? But to get into real estate, it's only a few $1,000s in order to get in, right? If there's any other business, you're paying so much more than that in turn, by leaps and bounds in order to get into that business, to sustain the business. But in real estate, we have an opportunity of a lifetime. So from the perspective of training, I want for each and every last one of us to know how essential and how important our trainings are, right? You have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. Realty Talks is 1 hour on Thursday. Our evening training is 1 hour and a half on Thursdays. So we want to encourage you guys to just grab hold. And this conversation is very much for all of our Realty pros that we want to encourage, who may listen to the video later, because you guys are on the call now, so you know how important this is to your growth. But we want you guys to lead the charge in this regard. We want for you guys to get and remain immersed in your real estate endeavors, because this is how you're going to grow, right? And anything that you aspire to do, you really have got to do your due diligence to get the training, to understand what it is you need to do, and then to practice and then immerse yourself in it. And that goes for any industry that you work in. So there's no difference for real estate. So what does that look like in terms of practicality? That looks like taking up the banner of training and being the one that's on the call, you being the first there, right? You calling other people, texting them when you don't see it, because we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. And you know that at Porterhouse, we're a family, and we want to see every single person succeed in this regard. It looks like getting into the office, one of our offices, one of the offices. If you're full-time, then that looks like daily. At some point, you should be going to some office to just keep yourself immersed in real estate. If you're dual career, whatever time you have set aside, prioritize it. Getting out into the communities, guys, making sure that you are daily involved in real estate endeavors, because real estate can and will change your life. You guys know that Mr. Porter and I, we let everybody know that we absolutely love to travel. And we make a joke all the time, but it has a whole lot of truth to it. That's why we do this. We do this to travel. That's said tongue in cheek, because we have so much, more to it, but we absolutely love to be able to travel, and real estate will afford you whatever type of lifestyle you desire. So whether it's for security, whether it's for, legacy wealth, generational wealth, financial freedom, whether it's for retirement, whether it's for travel, whether it's for investment properties, whether it's just to, pay your normal bills, whatever that looks like, I want to challenge you to go deeper, because real estate affords you the opportunity to do so much more than that, right? It's I would like to say, a double-edged sword with the perspective from real estate agents being, kind of independent contractors is great, because you are your own business owners. The only challenge that comes along with that is we tend to give more to businesses that we work for on our 9 to 5 than we're willing to for our own real estate business. So I'm challenging you. I'm challenging each and every last person today to give that time to yourself, because you deserve it. All of our top agents were in the office at our former brokerage on a daily basis, right? And I had that challenge for our dual career agents because since we've opened in Porterhouse, each one of our agents of the year have been dual career. So from the perspective, some of them having their own businesses, you hear us talk about Curtis Price. He was, top agent for 2 years. Curtis Price has been dual career since day one. He has a fitness gym. He has his own other, side business. Angela has been an agent of the year. Angela had a full-time job at one point and came off of her full-time job. I can go down the list. Susan, was an agent of the year, and Susan she's dual career, has a construction business and, a couple other businesses as well. So I say that to let you know that all things are possible. All things are possible. There are no limitations. We want for you guys to take the limits off. If you thought, oh, well, it's not possible because I only have 10 hours a week to spend on it, it is absolutely possible. If you have 40 hours to spend on it, it is more than possible, and you can have an abundance like you've never seen. So we want to encourage you guys to do what it is that we are telling you to do, because everything we're telling you to do is to benefit you and to prosper you. Get out into the community. Do not allow yourself to make excuses and sit in that place, right? Any of us can have an excuse for why we're not, but it takes a certain amount of boldness to move forward in the face of fear. So whatever, that fear would be that would creep up to try to cause you to make an excuse as to why you can't do something, be bold and courageous and move forward in the face of that, right? We have to have an abundance mindset to know that all things are possible if you believe. And we are just standing firmly in agreement with you guys and believing for you, letting you know that all things are possible. So we want for you guys to grab hold of that same mindset in your real estate endeavors. Know that all things are possible. There is an abundance. One of the statistics that Mr. Porter shared yesterday, and I love the statistics, of all of the humans who've ever lived on this planet, only 3% of them have ever owned a home. So when you talk about abundance, that means 97% of all the people that have ever lived on this planet were opportunities for you, me, and anybody else to help to usher into home ownership, to buy a home, to sell a home, to get investment properties. So when I say abundance, that's the mindset that I want you guys to think of. When we talk about every single human being on this planet needing a place to live, that's one thing that they're essential to life. You need shelter, you need food and water. Those are things that you can't go without. So there is an abundant need that is unending for your services, because every single person needs a place to live. So whether they are, financially capable of purchasing now, leasing now, selling now, whatever that looks like, at some point in their life cycle, they will need your assistance. So you want to look at every conversation and every person as an opportunity for you to help usher them into home ownership, investment, liquidating assets, buying future properties, all of those things, because at some point in their life cycle, they will need your assistance. Okay. So every conversation, every relationship, you want to come from that mindset and that perspective, right? So some of the things that we want for you guys to do and take hold of is getting out into the communities, getting involved in committees. So those committees can be at your place of work, at your church, at the office, of course, in the communities, whether it's on an HOA or, a PTA or whatever that looks like. You need to be a visible presence in every arena that you walk in so that people know the value that you carry and how it is that you can help them in this regard. Okay. Know that what you carry is extremely valuable. People do not know how to go and buy a home on their own or sell a home on their own. 97% of sellers who attempt on their own eventually hire an agent. And buyers who try, to do it on their own, it just doesn't work out well for them in the vast majority of those instances. So you want to get involved in the community and let them know that you are a realtor. Everybody who knows you should know that you are a realtor, okay? No secret agents. So until they only know you as the realtor or know you as the realtor, then your job is not complete, right? In real estate, it is so lucrative. In the last 2 years, you guys have seen the stats. We've sent them out in our area alone. This is just in Maryland. This does not include DC or Virginia because the price points are even a lot higher. But the average price point at a point was above $479,000. And that is, 7 years ago, that was 300 and something thousand. So it's gone up by almost, $160,000 in less than 7 years for that average price point. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because your commission opportunity, if you were to simply invest this time and do the things that we're telling you guys to do, beyond your level of discomfort, beyond, whatever reasons you have, you can be so lucrative in real estate that it will literally benefit every other area of your life. Your finances literally affect every area of your life. There is nothing that your finances does not affect. So whether that's from health, being able to pay for expenses, whether that's family, whether that's, ministry, whether that's whatever that is, your prosperity in this arena can literally help to impact and benefit every other area of your life. So I said that a few times, and I want you guys to listen to it again because I want you to know how valuable this is that you're involved in. And I believe that it is purposeful that you guys are here in this time, in this season. Okay. We have so many opportunities for you guys. When Mr. Porter and I, before we established Porter House and we were under, our former brokerage, the only three things that I would say that we had that gave us a monumental amount of success were our relationships, our telephones, and our business cards. And when I say relationships, I mean the ability to talk to people everywhere we go. Business cards that we designed, we paid for, we replenished, and our telephones to call people, to text people, to email people. With those three things alone, by God's grace, we were able to, ascend to being the top real estate team at the top exit franchise in all of North America. And I say that not as a brag, I say it as a testimony, and I say it as a challenge because you guys are afforded a whole buffet full of resources. You're afforded a whole buffet full of technology and tools and all of these things that you have at your disposal. Yet we accomplished monumental feats with only business cards, the ability to talk to people everywhere that we go, and telephones. So how much more can you do with everything that we're providing to you guys? I want you guys to take a look at where you are, because as we go into this new year, it is time for each one of us to have our one-on-ones. It's time for us to sit down, for you to do those business plans, for you to do the exercise where you're doing your vision exercise, so where you think about where you are and where you want to be in the next 5 years, and we backwards map that to a 12-year and then a quarterly goal so that that'll help keep you on target. But it only works if you work it. Okay. If you were on the Boomtown training Shay sent to you in WhatsApp, you learned that 68% of all of your business as a real estate professional is going to come from your sphere of influence. I'm going to say that again. 68% of all of your business as a real estate professional is going to come from your sphere of influence. These are people that already know you, they trust you, they believe you. These are, siblings, parents, kids, cousins, aunts, nieces, nephews, kids, neighbors, friends, people at the grocery store, people at work, people at church, people who cut your hair, people in the post office that you see all the time, people in Starbucks, people at the gas station. Anybody and everybody that you have an opportunity to connect with at any point, they then become a part of your sphere of influence because you're able to make contact with them. They're familiar with you, right? Why am I saying that? Because we can spend tons of time talking about marketing. We can talk about prospecting to cold areas, cold calling and farming, and all of those things are crucial for your real estate business. But know that those things will amount to 32% of your overall real estate transactions. Okay, I'm saying that wrong. Yeah, 32% of your overall real estate transactions. So I want you to know, and you guys know, we talk about your sphere of influence all the time, and we can't talk about it enough. Because again, 68% of all of the business that you're looking for, waiting for, hoping for, believing for, sowing for, prospecting for is gonna come from the people who know you and the people that you can get to know on a daily basis. So we want to encourage you to be consistent with your marketing, right? 68% of the sellers and buyers are going to come from your sphere of influence. So if you were on that training, then you heard the same thing. And I love the way that they phrased it. It's like having gold under your feet and walking out the house every day and going to search for gold. But you have gold right there under your feet, right? So when we talk about the resources, everybody has a cell phone. There's not one of us that does not have a cell phone. And if for a moment you didn't, you have a house phone. Realty talks, trainings, prospecting to people that you know is literally a phone call away. Doesn't cost you. It's a text message away. It's an email away. It's a visit away. So whether you take somebody out for, coffee, or you just go by and pay a visit, there's so many things that you can do that don't cost you anything. However, there's so many things that will take you to the next level in your business that we want to encourage you guys to invest in yourself concerning. Okay. So when we're talking about marketing to and prospecting in your sphere of influence, we're going to get a little bit deeper into what that looks like. I'm going to pause for just a second. Mr. Porter, do you have anything that you'd like to add there? Prospecting, guys. Prospecting has so many different layers to it. All of it is effective if you work it. If you work your prospecting.
I'm sorry, Jasmine. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to get my phone unmuted because I'm working from my phone. I'm actually at dealership. But I did want to say, just being consistent. Being consistent. If you make a commitment to yourself to be consistent in all of your marketing for 1 year, I'm talking about postcards, all social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everything. Posting 1 year. Just make yourself a commitment to do that for 1 year. Set up all of your media, all your content, your campaign, birthday campaign, and target just your sphere of influence and a specific farm area where you live, maybe right in your vicinity, with postcards. Going to the shopping center into this local shopping market and see if you can get some advertisement. Maybe even on the divider that they put on the grocery store or what have you, or on the shopping carts or what have you, and on the bus routes. If you do stuff like that for 1 year, everybody's going to get the picture. And that's one of the things they talked about in the Boom Channel training, which was excellent. Is that what happens then is that people move from a stranger danger mentality of you because they don't know you when you first knock on their door until they see you everywhere they turn in their neighborhood. Everywhere I turn, every time I get on Facebook, on Instagram, I see Angela. Every time I get on Instagram, I didn't even know Clement knew how to work Instagram, and I know that Kermon that works Instagram, so somebody must be doing it for him. But he's everywhere. It gives the appearance that you're everywhere, and then what happens is that people become familiar with you. When they become familiar with you, you're almost like a celebrity in their neighborhood. And if they're a celebrity in their neighborhood, they'll pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, Cameron, how you doing, man? I see your ads everywhere. I just wanted to know, what can I do with my house?" Literally, you just talk to them just like you knew them from time immemorial. And that was really, really powerful for me. That was a really great idea. And in the way that they presented that training and talking about just focusing in on not just one social media, but making sure you're posting on every single thing that you're on. And if you're not on something, make sure that you get an account for LinkedIn. Make sure you get an account for all of the social media. Put the same information over and over. And when you post on one thing, you post on everything. And when people start to respond back to you, these instruments, they create an algorithm that says, hey, these people know each other. Let's keep sending the feeds to this person. And if you can't do it yourself, you might have to pay a few $100s and get somebody like Social Pro, which I did, and they did everything for me. And people think I'm talking to them all the time. I don't know what they're talking about. But Social Pro is posting for me. They're doing a whole lot of things because I really don't have time to do it anymore. Or if I didn't know how to do it, that would be the avenue that I would use. So you can do it what I say the poor man method, which is do it yourself. Learn how to do it. YouTube, go to YouTube University until you figure it out. Don't make any excuses, but you got to make it happen. And then after that, if you don't want to, do it that way, you're gonna have to invest in yourself. You're gonna have to open up some lines of credit and use that line of credit to invest in your business. I'm gonna be talking to you some more. I started a little conversation about setting up your business, but I think I need to go deeper into that conversation because now we need to talk about how to use those lines of credit. If some of you have applied, there are easy places that you can go get lines of credit. We'll talk about that. Look up Divvy. Look up Truist Bank. There's a whole lot of things, and I don't mean to. I know it's really hard to hear me, so I'm going to stop right now, Jasmine. You can take back over, but you asked me to say something. I wanted to.
Those were very valuable nuggets. So I hope that you guys are, just eating this up because those are very, very valuable nuggets there. And yes, it was going in and out, but I believe we heard the meat of it, Mr. Porter. So thank you for that. We want to encourage you guys in terms of your prospecting, take every opportunity to work with a client, whether it's a buyer, a seller, or a renter, because when interest rates start going crazy, rent prices go higher. Even if you're prospecting for buyers, you have maybe 2 or 3 buyers you're working with, you might have also 2 or 3 renters that you're working with. Your rentals are going to close faster than your properties are going to settle from underwriting. So now you have even more to put back into your business. So we want to encourage you guys to take all of the business that is coming your way, even if you have to refer it. Okay. And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You guys, with your real estate license, you are able to help a client anywhere with real estate, whether it's through your own personal license or referring it and receiving a referral fee from it. So just know that if you have business coming in abundance, and say by chance you don't have the capacity to handle it all, you are in a great position because you have Realty Pro colleagues who would love to handle it. So let's just think from that perspective. Take every opportunity to progress your business in that regard, okay? So just know that volunteering to do things will put you in a place where now you're in front of an audience that will see you as a professional. And by volunteering, we talked about this quite a number of times before. When we were, before we were brokers or owners of a real estate company, every single quarter, sometimes every other month, we had a large home buyer seminar. There's not a quarter that we did not have a large home buyer seminar, and we want to pass that baton on to you guys and have you guys to take that up because it was a tremendous aspect to our real estate business. So whether we got 1 settlement out of it or 5 settlements out of it, and depending on, the season and the marketing, people would range from 4 people at a home buyer seminar to 60 or 70 people at a home buyer seminar. So we want you guys to be encouraged to use the tools that you have in your hand because you have an abundance. And we're at the place now, we're growing by leaps and bounds, and everything that you guys have afforded to you. There are no excuses, and we will not accept any for you not being successful in what you said you wanted to do in this real estate regard. We're going to hold you accountable. We're going to hold you up. We're going to encourage you. We're going to provide you with everything that you need and help you to be accountable to the goals that you set. Okay. With those home buyer seminars, I'll give you a quick testimonial about them. We had, we've done home buyer seminars ad nauseum, home seller seminars. We had a home buyer seminar where one couple came in and they were not looking to purchase at that time. They had a home to sell. So they ended up selling their home, but they didn't sell their home until like 2 or 3 years later after they had come to our home buyer seminar, but they were collecting information. 2 or 3 years later, that turned into 3 separate transactions. We sold their home, we sold them the home that they were purchasing, and then knew somebody who wanted to purchase the home that they were selling. So that was a 3-sided transaction, and they have sent us referrals since then, and we remain in contact with them. So exploit every opportunity to help people and to grow your business. And they still come to our home buyer seminars now. So when we have them and we let them know, they're still excited and wanting to come out and tell their testimonies. Okay. So be consistent in whatever it is that you decide to do, but we want you guys to have a sober conversation with yourself, excuse me, and look at it from this place of an abundance mindset and say, what can I do? What do I have in front of me? What opportunities can I take during this season? Right? Because it's time for us to help, with those one-on-ones, but it's not as essential for us to have a one-on-one as it is for you to have a one-on-one with yourself in the mirror. What am I going to do and how am I going to take my real estate business to the next level? Everything you need is here. Take on some type of marketing endeavor in addition to your sphere of influence. Do it, commit to it for 12 months. Commit to it for 12 months, and let's have this conversation next year and let's see where you're going to be in your real estate business. Okay? Ask yourself, who can I get to help me? If you have an area that you're not as strong in, so whether it's social media or whatever that is, I can assure you that you have a Realty Pro colleague that has the skills and abilities to assist you. And if we have to partner elsewhere to bring on trainers and things to do that, then that's something that we're happy to do. But we want you guys to progress to the next level in your real estate businesses because you owe it to yourself. As I said in the beginning, your progress in your real estate business will help to impact every area of your lives, guys. So whether it's for kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, or whomever, you can benefit everybody when you prosper in this area of real estate. Okay. There are people in your sphere of influence who would love to help you to grow your real estate business. So it was not by happenstance in the beginning of the year, the first month and a half or 2 months, when we focused heavily on just texting and calling our sphere of influence. And almost every person, if not every person in the brokerage, had testimonials from their sphere of influence. And we want for that to be something that you guys carry throughout the year, especially from the calling them, texting them, having those conversations. And Boomtown has now afforded you guys the ability to import your contacts and send them all a text or an email with just a click of one button in order for you guys to just know what's going on with your sphere of influence. You can nurture them, you can groom them, you send them your link to your website. So now when they're looking, you're automatically going to know. You set them up on drip campaigns, so they're receiving communication from you while they're asleep. They're getting emails from Clement. They're getting emails from Rhonda. They're getting emails from Paula, talking to them about real estate. So you want to stay at the forefront of the minds of the people who already know, like, and trust you, like, trust, and believe you, however it is that you want to say, because that's where the vast majority of your real estate business is going to come from. Okay. When you post, ask people to repost for you. Post on your social media pages. I challenge you guys, for everybody that's in your sphere of influence. I know that Facebook has it. I believe that Instagram may have it. I don't know if LinkedIn has it, but go and have them import your contacts, because most of those platforms will say, hey, you have so and so in your contact. Do you want to connect with them on this platform? So connect with them there. Create, communities on there where it's all of the people that are already in your sphere of influence. So now, in addition to, just your email blast out to everybody, you have specific information that's intended to nurture your sphere of influence, to groom them, to provide value to them, to give them important real estate information. So whether it's about interest rates rising or the benefits of purchasing in the midst of rising interest rates. We were having this conversation, slightly before we began, and one mindset that we want to have is, no matter what the market is doing, people always need a place to live. So whether they're buying, selling, renting, people at some point in their life cycle, and at multiple points in most people's life cycles, they will always need your help. So know that and place yourself as that industry professional in front of them with intentionality. You got to do it on purpose. It's not just going to happen by osmosis. We talk about all the time seed, time, and harvest. So when you hear me begin and we talk about, just being thankful and reflecting on everything over this past decade, this has come with a lot of seed, time, and harvest. And what you guys are seeing today is as a result of diligence and consistency in the face of adversity. Transactions that go awry and you saying, okay, this too shall pass. When this closes, I'll be on to the next one. Challenges in our personal life arising, and you continue to move forward in, your goals in real estate, because again, it will impact every area of your lives. I give you guys a personal testimony. My grandma, she went home to be with the Lord, about a month ago now. And thank God she was 94 years, old. So that's a tremendous legacy. But how many people know, if you have loved ones that are passing on and they don't have insurance, your real estate business can help to, lift some of that financial burden from the family. So no matter what it looks like, you need to be dedicated to your real estate business. So don't be afraid to ask for business from your sphere of influence. A lot of people will be grateful to help to build your real estate business. Don't be a secret agent. Don't be afraid. Ask for 5-star ratings on Google. Ask people to pass out your business card. Ask people for 5 referrals. Call people that already know you. Text those people and ask for business, guys. Whatever your personality type is, whatever relationship you have with them, you add value in this regard. So just know that and add that value. Give me 1 second. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions? Then I will continue, guys. The theme is the same. Don't be a secret agent. There is a wealth of opportunity and abundance that is out there for you guys that is simply waiting on you. Whatever you decide to do it consistently over time. Research shows that most people give up just ahead of their success. Thank you so much, Kermon. I appreciate it. They give up just before their success. So, when it looks like things are the most challenging, that's when you want to press the most and know that your success is just on the other side of that. Does anybody have any thoughts, any questions, or anything with regards to what we're sharing?
What you're saying is absolutely true. And I can say I had a rough patch. And shortly after that, pressing everything that I would say, nurturing from like the early part of this year and then last year, it all happened like back to back to back to back. you know, where two of my um transactions for buyers went south the beginning of the year, and then now it's two sellers that are sellers and buyers, and then just another seller, and then three buyers. And then Aurelia and I have a listing that we're working on as well, and we have to, you know, go by there to tell her what she should take out. So she's been prepping her house for, you know, to put on the market. So that is exactly how it works for me. That's how it did.
Thank you for sharing that, Darlene. Seed, time, and harvest. I want to just, I've said a lot. I want to hear from you guys. And, you know, before you guys unmute yourself, just think about it. Not sure if we have any gardeners, but it's, you know, whether you're a gardener or not, you can look outside and you can see the trees and the grass. How much or how many plants do you think would grow if we just planted the seed and didn't give it any water? Or watered it once or twice and then look back at it and say it didn't grow, dig it up. How does it doesn't work that way, right? You plant it, now you got to nurture it. You got to consistently water it, sometimes daily, sometimes twice a week, sometimes weekly, depending on the, you know, the plant. But it takes consistent nurturing over time in order to see the growth that you guys are looking for. And it is absolutely within your reach. And when you see things becoming the most tumultuous, that is often the time when you are just at the door of your success in your breakthrough. So I really want to encourage you guys to embrace those moments when you feel uncomfortable, embrace those moments when it seems like, oh, everything is breaking loose, because that is the opportunity for you to grow the most. And when you get through that storm, you are going to find success like you've never seen it before.
So I'd like to add to that, and I'd like to really thank Mrs. Porter for getting me started, because my first real experience with a listing was probably the one where I was going, okay, that's it, I'm done. I'm giving up, I'm dropping, I'm not doing this anymore. Mrs. Porter supported me through that. And even though I was not able to be through the entire transaction, once that transaction was completed and I learned as much as I did from that transaction, I was able to build my confidence enough to get 3 more that year. And things are now really moving. And it's because I kept going after that. And I stayed in touch with my sphere. I now have people calling me to say that, you know, when things are going on that I might want to know about, and also to check in with me to help other folks. And it continues. And I was really surprised at the beginning of this year because it just kept going. And so what keeps coming back to me is seed, time, and harvest. I did spend time. It took me a couple of years to get started, but things, as Darlene was saying, they may look like nothing's happening, but your sphere, the time that you've input is actually allowing things to happen, and you'll start seeing your plants grow. So it's been amazing for me. And again, thank you so very much.
Thank you for sharing that, Dee. That is the heart of everything that we're talking about, guys. So to your seed and time, add the water. You got to nurture it. I don't want to see us looking at that saying, I watered that seed for 2 weeks and it didn't grow. I was looking for my apple tree. I watered that seed for a whole month and it didn't grow. You guys, be willing to put in the work When we work a 9 to 5 for somebody else, you're going in that office 8 hours a day, no matter what, and you're putting in that work for somebody else's business. This is your own legacy. Put in the work, water your seed time and harvest. And if you are simply diligent and nothing more, you will reap the benefits of success. It's a natural law and a spiritual one. So if you are diligent in your service, you will be successful. And that is simply, that's just, it's what it is. Aurelia, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, amen to it all. I'm happy to be back. Hello, Darlene and everybody. I am really happy to be back. I knew that today I was going to call in, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to be really persistent in what I'm doing, regardless of what things look like. And the thing that really encouraged me is what you put out there, Shay, as far as the race, not given to the swift nor the strong, but those who endure until the end. And that touched my heart. And I said, you know what, regardless of what's going on, I'm going to continue to persevere. I'm going to continue to push forward. And what you said about the training, it's right on time, because I said, if I don't do anything more than to be on the training consistently learning and just working the business behind the scenes, even when you may not have the clients, you may not have what you need now, but if you're constantly learning and keeping yourself busy inside the business, it works. Because when the time comes, like you said about seed time and harvest, when the time comes, you're ready. And I'm just going to be ready. I'm going to prepare myself to be ready, but I'm glad to be back. I know this is my first day back, but it's right on time. So thank you, Jasmine, for everything that you've said, and I'm happy to be back.
Happy to see you and hear you, Aurelia.
Yes, thank you,
Yes,
Dee.
Aurelia. I'm happy to have you
welcome
back.
Welcome back.
It's been a
Welcome back.
journey, but I'm back and I'm ready.
We are
you.
excited. Welcome back, and thank you for that, Aurelia. That is spot on, guys. I want to say in this last few minutes that as realtors, you always have something to do. Your number one job is to prospect. That is advertising yourself as a real estate professional. So whether we say prospect or advertise, you always have something to do. Okay. And I love that Aurelia said, being prepared, even if she doesn't have a client at the moment, being prepared, because that's what we want to give you guys the charge. And for all of your Realty Pro colleagues, we want you guys to encourage them in this same way. Be prepared. If you're a brand new agent and you haven't written an offer, that is a great opportunity to get in BrokerMint today and start playing around writing those offers so that when you get in front of a client, you know what you're doing. If you are an exceptional buyer's agent and you aspire to be a listing agent, you're in a great place because you can get right into BrokerMint today and start playing around in that listing transaction. Create that transaction, prepare those documents, read through it, because that is your preparation off the field. So when it's game time, you know exactly what it is that you're doing. Okay. So you guys always have something to do. We want you guys to hold yourselves accountable to your success because you owe it to yourselves, guys. We each got into this business for a multitude of reasons, most of it for financial freedom and flexibility and all these different things. So now, you know how, basketball players, dancers, people in different sports and arenas, they say, leave it all on the field or leave it all on the court, or leave it all, on the dance floor or whatever it is. In your real estate career, we want you guys to leave it all on the floor in terms of don't leave saying, when it's time for you to retire from real estate, don't leave saying, I wish I could have, should have, would have. Leave saying, I did absolutely everything that I aspired to do, and I gave it my all. I gave it my all, even when it was hard. And when it got difficult, I didn't quit. So go to all of the free seminars. So MLS has a lot of seminars, PG Car, Boomtown, BrokerMint, they have seminars. carve out the time, go to it, log on, listen to the video, listen to it. If you're in transit, put it in your ear. There's so many free seminars that give you the information that you need, guys. And when you're in the midst of these transactions, these free seminars, this free training, this free information is really going to come in handy. And guess what? It is free. I'll say it again, it's free. And for people such as myself and Shay, who come from different brokerages where we paid for trainings and everything that we did, we had to pay for it. It really resonates with us. And my hope is that it'll resonate with you guys as well. It is free, so take advantage. All the information that we're giving you guys, we're saying, hey, take this and do it. You will get to the top. Top agents take advantage of all these opportunities and these free things that are being given to you. So that's what I wanted to say, just kind of as my last piece of information for us today. And I have said a lot today, so I want to hear from some of you guys. And thank you, Aurelia, Darlene, Dee. You guys have already shared. If you want to say something else, or for those of you that are on the line, if you haven't had a chance to share your feedback, your thoughts with regards to the information that we discussed today, I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Well, Ms. Porter, I just want to say very quickly, this was just awesome, and I'm going to be brief because I know Curtis and other people have something to say. But I just want to say one thing that reminded me of. Ms. Porter talked about life-changing moments, and we have life-changing times. And I saw two things. One of them was in my life, I've had some illnesses some of you guys may have known. And, the doctor said I shouldn't even be here and all of that. And we had to work past it. And it just reminded me of something Ms. Porter said, that this too shall pass. And when I first got into the real estate industry, I was a loan officer. When I first got in, 9/11 hit. That was my first year. And I'm thinking I'm going to do all this stuff and I'm going to make it. And 9/11 hit. I had to fight through it. And then after that, things were going very well. The mortgage meltdown hit. Had to fight through it. And something that Ms. Porter said about life goes on, and it has to. And I saw this, and Ms. Porter didn't know I was going to say this, but I was honored to be able to go to the funeral, the homegoing for Mrs. Porter's mom. And the reason why I say it was an honor is because the way that Mrs. Porter conducted herself, the things that she had to go through, and I know what she was, can imagine what she was going through because I've lost my mom. And for her to stand up there and to be who she had to be in that moment, and to be everything that she had to be for her family, and then to turn around and still keep this business going with Mr. Porter, keep this business going, to keep doing all the things that she had to do. And it just lets you know that no matter what happens in life, it's not what happens, it's how you respond to it. And to sit there and just watch her, and I was teasing Mr. and Mrs. Porter, I saw Mrs. Porter preach her trial sermon, to sit there and watch what she had to do, and let me know that even though we may think that, hey, they got it going on, they got everything happening, no problems, everything is good, life, the winds blow on everybody. So I would just encourage everyone to just remember that no matter what happens, it goes on, life goes on, and you can get through it. Good, bad, up, down, it's always going to be something, just got to stay diligent. So that's my thought.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kermon. Wow. Curtis, I see that you had unmuted yourself too.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, Curtis.
I just had to say that today's call has been phenomenal. I'm actually in the gym and I've been working out during the call, and I didn't need any music. Not that I need music to train, but it's been a very motivating call today. And I just want to put out there, a lot of times folks will, I'm literally like working out, so I'm a little out of breath, will, from a fitness standpoint, will comment on like, oh, I want to look like you, or I want to be fit. And then you tell them what you have to do, and then they look like, well, I don't want to do that. well, then you don't want to be fit. You don't want to look like me. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing within real estate. If you want to be a producing agent, you're going to have to do things that you may not want to do. And that's just the bottom line. You know, we're going to feel good after the call, but it's going to be like 2 days from now when that feeling wears off and you may not be as fired up to log into Boomtown or fired up to do something to work on your business. That's when you separate yourself. So, you know, everybody out there, all of this is possible, but there's going to be no real estate fairy that's going to sprinkle $1 million in your bank account. You know, you have to get up, you have to grind. There's going to be easy days. There's going to be horrible days. But I always look at it as a marathon, and that I'm an agent for a very long time. I love real estate. I haven't been able to do what I know I want to do, but I haven't lost sight of what I want to do. So, you know, big kudos for everybody out there at Porterhouse. You know, I'm really looking forward to bringing in the new year. And even before we close out 22, setting a lot of good things up for next year. And, you know, get out there and get to work. Yeah. So I hope all's well.
Excellent, Curtis. Thank you so much for sharing that. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. That's right, Curtis, what you said, you have to make it a habit. So I love that Mr. Porter says that too. It's just like driving. When you make it a habit, eventually you can do it, you know, with automaticity. You don't even have to think about it. But you know how, you know, some experts say it takes 21 days. Some say it takes 30 days to, you know, build a habit. I've even heard people say 60 days. So whatever that looks like for you, you know, try it at least for 30 days to make it a habit. You know, Shay said one thing that I used to do is I would schedule it. And then I figured, you know, once I scheduled this, then I would give myself a habit of doing it. You know, with all of our phones, you have calendar reminders. You can give yourself a calendar reminder to do something and do it. And then, you know, slowly but surely, it'll be like second nature. It's just like driving. When you first started driving, you had to overcome certain fears and anxieties, and you know, felt uncomfortable getting on the highways, and, you know, may have felt uncomfortable parallel parking, or when people passed you too quickly, you may have gotten a little nervous. The same thing in real estate. There's certain things that you're going to have to do, like calling people that you know to ask for business. It may make you feel a little anxiety, but do it anyway. Do it in the face of fear. Do it even when you feel uncomfortable, because that is when you're going to grow. Just like Curtis said, you know, people that are even in the health industry, when you want to aspire to a certain level, it costs you something, right? And we're not even talking about money. It costs you your diligence when you don't feel like doing what it is that you need to do to get to where you said you want to be. You need to do it every single day. And I guarantee you guys, you will have success. You have to do it even when you don't feel like doing it. Make yourself do it every day. Make yourself do something towards your real estate business, prospecting for business, advertising in some way every single day, and you will have great success in this real estate industry. All right. Well, that is all I have for you today. Do you guys have any thoughts, any, you know, questions, any comments or anything? Darlene, I see you had your hand up.
One thing I would like to say is, like my pastor said years ago, that sometimes in order for something, well, we know as women, so for something to be birthed, you have to be pushed. And I do know that there have been several instances where I have felt like, come on now, Miss Porter, come on now, Mr. Porter, y'all got to answer me. Somebody's please say something. And when I have been like ready to pull out my last follicle of hair, they would jump in. But it's like they push you. And you know, you may think you're out there alone, but it's something that you definitely have to go through in order to push past your insecurities or fears. So sometimes you have to be pushed. and they do it in a loving way. So I'll say that.
Thank you for sharing that, Darlene. Clement, I see you have yourself unmuted.
Yeah, I was just trying to say this has been a very nice session. Even though I heard a lot of stuff from so many other agencies that I was with, but at the same time, this is definitely a refresher, and I love it. I mean, I'm also trying to make things happen for the coming year, that's for sure. And it's been really great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Excellent. You are so welcome, and thank you for sharing. Is there anybody else who has any? There you go, Angela. Come on.
Just waiting for everyone to get all these excellent comments out. I do. I take notes on all of these trainings because I feel like I learn something every time, we have one of these calls, and I'll continue to be on all the trainings. But I just wanted to say, I think that the timing for this conversation is perfect. For me, I'll say there's different parts of the year where I feel a little bit more pressure or discouraged. And usually it's towards the end of a year where I feel like, oh, I'm X amount of, transactions away from my goal. What is the likelihood of me closing something in 60 days? And then all these fears start to creep in, and we need to not do that to ourselves because I've been guilty of that. But what I can say is the year that I did really well, I was dual career. So for anyone out there who is dual career, know that you can finish very strong, be very successful, which is what prompted me to do real estate full time. So if I did well and pushed myself while I was dual career, I most certainly thought, hey, I can do this on my own. It is a bit of a challenge and a shift and a learning curve. And, I appreciate the Porters for preparing us for that position. But I just wanted to say again that I think the timing is great. I mean, it is October. For some of you, you might have said, hey, we want to do 22 and 2022. And you might think, how far off am I from that number? And it really doesn't matter. I think the goal is to continue to strive for that number. We still have more than 60 days to reach that goal. And I used to think, if I didn't do it by October, it's not going to happen, but it still can happen. And I'm still pushing until the very last day of the year if I have to. But just know that your efforts right now in October and for the last quarter of 2022 are definitely going to prepare you for an incredible 2023. So I just want to share that because when the new year comes, it's January, February, and you're getting people ready, I'm like, it's going to take 60 days before I can get them ready and on that path to move forward. But now is the time to pick it up, finish strong, and, in order to actually get the 22. I believe it's possible for some of you, for me, for different people. And even though it looks like it might be out of reach, imagine the effort you put in now, the effects that they will have. And you might say, dang, I wanted 22, but here I am with 4. I'm 4, possible 5. And you think, what am I going to do with that? Well, if you push really hard, what if you end up with 9? How many are you going to be disappointed saying, I closed 9 transactions, I was supposed to be 2022, but if you get 20 and 22 and 2022, if you had given up or at least, lost focus, I feel that, you wouldn't have even made it to the 9. So I'm just saying that don't give up, focus on your 22 still. And, just watch how your, we talked about consistency and persistence, how it really will pay off. So there's so much more I can say. I know we don't have a lot of time. I can share it another time, but I just say, you guys just keep going. The year is not over, even though we are into the fourth quarter. Just keep pressing because you still can end up on top and you still can reach your goal if you don't quit.
Excellent. That was so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Angela. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. If you guys want to hang on, then you're free to hang on so that we can conclude this discussion. But I wanted to encourage you guys. As I started out talking about being a brand new agent, I want you guys to know it's intentional from the position of being relatable. My very first year as a new agent, I think that December is when Shay decided to fire his boss and come to join me and start the Porter home team. Because my November and December, I had probably 12 to 13 settlements between November and December. And those were clients that I was working with consistently over the course of that year. So just like Angela is saying, in order for you to close strong and then even start a new year on the good foot, as you would say, you need to consistently be pressing and moving forward with this even now. So October is an opportunity, just like January is an opportunity for you to reach your real estate goals. So just continue. And I'll say it from this perspective, if you aim for the stars, then you're going to hit the sky. If you aim somewhere for one of these trees, you're probably going to hit the ground somewhere. So aim for the stars, keep your goals high. I love how Mr. Porter said, make those big, hairy, scary goals. It's going to push you past your comfort zone and you're going to do things you never thought you'd be able to do. And in that, one of the things we'll say is an average agent, they close, about 6 transactions per year. We want you guys to be well above average, okay? That being said, in a year, if you do what it is that we're telling you to do, you're going to be above average. And in my very first year as a real estate agent, I closed way more than the average of 6 transactions there. And we want to encourage you guys to do the same thing. And we're saying that because it is possible, and we don't want you guys to make excuses or count yourselves out. No matter what you have done or what you haven't done, all things are possible. There's an abundance of resources and opportunities. You have all the tools that you need to be successful. So let's go ahead, let's go forward and be productive and make progress in our real estate businesses, guys. It will help to impact and bless every other area of your lives. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording there.